Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e. The topic today is perceiving the act of casting a spell. How does that work? Normally you don't know that a spell has been cast unless it produces some noticeable effect that you can actually see with your eyes or senses. To notice a spell, there are three elements you need to pick up on. One, there is a verbal component, something that is spoken. Two is the somatic component, or the gestures that are used to perform the spell. And three are the material components, such as the objects used in the spell, usually listed in the description for that spell, or your spell component pouch, or your spell casting focus, whatever that might be. It might be a wand, orb, a staff, whatever. You can't perceive a spell being cast if those components have been removed. So what happens if you remove like one or two elements and there's still some sort of component left? Well, you could apply disadvantage to any kind of check required to identify the spell, if you're going to be doing that later on, or you could also just say, yep, they can just perceive it, that's fine, or say, no, because elements of the spell have been removed, it's far too difficult to identify or figure out that they are casting a spell. There are two things that I can think of that remove the components to a spell being cast, and that is the sorcerer's subtle spell feature and the innate spell casting ability of a creature or monster that you are playing in the game. So how does this interplay with something like trying to identify the spell? We know that a spell has been cast. How do we identify how to do that? Well, there is plenty of information in the Xanathar's Guide to Everything on page 85 that talks about that, and essentially it is a check, a DC check, usually an intelligence check, could be an arcana check if you wanted, and that's going to be a 15 plus the spell level being cast, so it can be quite a high and difficult check to make. So what about something like counterspell and how that interplays with perceiving a spell? The use of counterspell as a reaction in the game of Dungeons & Dragons 5e is actually heavily reliant on being able to perceive the spell, in my opinion, and so if you can't perceive it, how could you possibly use counterspell? If you want a reference for all of the stuff that I've been talking about, then go to Xanathar's Guide to Everything on page 85. There I have taken a little bit of liberty with the text, but I think it really sort of makes sense in my opinion. Look, if you found this video helpful in some way, great. I have hundreds of videos for players and dungeon masters you are welcome to go and check out. If you want to support the channel, you can do that by my Patreon page. I also have affiliate links down in the description, and that's to Amazon and the book depository. I also have a merchandise shelf. Make sure to share, like and subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when I go live and when I publish new videos. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.